will learn today, we will learn, as I mentioned, today our session, it's like we will review what we have on chapter 3 from the book. They mention like what to test, what kind of things that we can test, or what kind of methodology that we need to follow. Also testing step by step, and what kind of experiment that we can follow by having experiment library, and how we can bring all things together. And if you have any question, you can ask me during the session or stop me at any time. So, what to test, or why do we need to test our product? I will make it very simple actually. Before you publish your application and before you publish your product, it's really recommended for you to test it. And why do we need to do this? Actually, it will help you to reduce the risk that it might happen during your journey or during while you are publishing your product. So to avoid this risk, to avoid any human errors, or while I'm explaining more about what kind of methodology that we can follow, you will understand why do we need to follow, or why do we need to test our product or our project. So we have actually, they mentioned within the book, they have a three methodology actually. First one, testing the circle. Second one, second one actually, it was testing the square. Third one, testing the rectangle. So we will go through one by one, and we will see what they mean by testing the circle and all this stuff. And actually, you will be surprised because it's similar what we learned from previous sessions, and everything it's connect to be part of it, so to be part of the main process. So if we go to the first methodology, like testing the circle, actually, you need here to think, or you need to start with thinking about the jobs, the customer jobs, their pains, and also their gains in the design section. And if you remember the section that we already talked about, which is the customer profile, this is our way to think about it here. You need to think about their jobs, their pains, their gain, and you need to add it in your customer profile section. And the objective actually of testing the circle is to confirm with the evidence that our profile sketches actually our research, our observations, and also our insight from the interviews that we did it with our stakeholders or our customer were correct. So this is the purpose of doing the testing the circle. And here you need to ask yourself, as I mentioned, the most important things that we need to focus about the evidence. So you need to ask yourself, do you have evidence showing? You need to start with this one. Which gains matter to your customer? And which one actually ones are most they are looking for, or which one is the most essential for the customer? Then you need to move to the pains. Here you need to ask yourself two questions. Which pains matter to your customers? And the second question, which ones are most extreme? Actually, this question you need to ask yourself while you are in the second stage, which is the test stage. Third one, customer jobs. Here you need to ask yourself two questions. First, which jobs matter to your customers, and which ones matter most? So you're already familiar with the customer profile and value proposition canvas. So if you're already familiar with this graph, which is we already explained on the first session, test phase actually will be something really easy for you. You just need to ask yourself a few questions while you are applying all these methodology. So this is the first step. We need to follow testing the circle, which is testing the customer profile. And why they are mentioning like testing the circle, because from the shape of the process or the customer profile, because it's a circle. So they are trying to connect all the words based on the process shapes that we have it. So if we move to the second one, which is testing the square, here, what do you need to test? Actually, you need to test if and how much your customers care about and how you actually will provide them a help. Also, you need to design an experiments that will help to show the evidence that your product and service will kill their pains and create actually a gains that matter to the customers. So this is what you need to do within the second step, which is testing the square. And if we move now to the square, which is value map, we already understand it before. Here, you need to ask yourself a few questions, and you need to collect evidence, which is showing first, you need to start with the products and services. Here, you need to think about which one of your products and services customers really want. For example, I already understand what their pains and what kind of things they are, what kind of a challenge they are facing. So you need to think about how many product or service you have, and you need to pick the most important things for your customer, or the easiest one with the highest value actually. Second question that you need to ask yourself within this area, product and service, you need to ask yourself which ones they want most. I know that you have a different products that will help them to remove their challenge and to help them for example, if I have automated a process and they have a manual process, for sure I will have a different area or different products or services that will help the customer. But to pick one product or service, I need to ask myself this question. Second, after I pick the product or service, I need to think about gain creators here, which is which one of your gain creators customers really need. Here you need to think about it. And then you need to ask yourself which ones they really need it for the most from all your products and your services. I know you have top three or top five, so you need to think about it more and more and just pick one or two at least. Then you need to move to the third one, which is pain relievers here, and you need to ask yourself which one of your pain relievers here will help them or help your customer to remove their headache. I know your the customer, for example, if they gonna ask for any product or service because they really need it or they really need the solution, and your job here or our job here actually to remove their headaches and to remove their pains. So that's what you need to ask yourself. Second question within this area, you need to think or to think about which ones they long for most. It means uh, I know that they have a challenge, they have a risk, they have a lot of things that we need to help the customer. So which one we have it for the long term and which one for the short term? That's what we need to think about it, because I can provide them a solution that will stay for example, 1 week or 2 weeks, but at the end it will not stay forever, right? So I need to think about the solution they are really looking for, and second one, which one will stay more or will support the customer for a long time. This is what they mean, how we can test our following testing the rectangle methodology. Now, sorry, testing the square. Now if we move to the third step, which is testing the rectangle here, what they mean actually, uh, actually they mean here about business models. And what do you need to do here? You need to test the most critical uh, items or whatever you have in your business models, your value proposition. Actually, you need actually value proposition, you need to embed it within your business model. So here you need to check each part from your business model that you have it. And if you look at it here, you can take a screenshot or you can find it within the book. Here, you need to understand each part and you need to test each part that you have it from your business model before you publish your product. And here, if you look at it, the value proposition and customer relationships actually, or the value proposition that the main purpose of our book, which is here, we divide it to be as a two steps, which is testing the circle and testing the square. Then testing the rectangle, actually here it's the whole process for your business model, divided to be as a items or several items, and to start to think and ask yourself this question like, do you have access to the resource required to create a value, for example here. And you can take a screenshot, you can keep it with you, or you can look at the online sources that we have it for the book, and they already mentioned this question if you are interested. So this is what do we mean by uh, what to test or what kind of things that I need to follow. So when they ask you or what they mention within the book, like what is test or what do we need to test, actually, they mention that you need to test three things. First, you need to test your customer profile, you need to test your value map. Third, you need to test your business model. And as we know, value propositions, it's part of the business models. And this is the easiest way to test and before publishing any product or any project that you are working on it to make sure to reduce the risk that you will face it. Okay. Now, let us jump to the second part of our session today, which is testing step by step. Within the book, actually, they mention really a cool process. They make it really easier for us on how, what kind of a process do we need to follow. And they divide it to be like this. And they mention here different area. First, you need to extract your hypothesis actually. And here you need to think about what needs to be true for your idea to work. I know that everyone they have their own ideas. We have a lot of ideas, but you need to think about which one will be really a good idea for your customer. Use here you need to use your the value proposition and business model canvas to identify what test before you get out of the building, and you need to define actually the most important things that must be true for your idea to work, because I know that we have 100 ideas but not all the idea will work, so you need to think about it within this stage. And if you look at it here, we have a customer profile, we have a value map, we have a business model. So the testing process, it's not only the only first step, we have a different step actually. And if you look at it, we are still on only in the first step. After you test all your circle, square, and rectangle here, what do you need to do? You need to move to the second one. I know that, I'm sure that I test all my customer profile, everything. I have a list with 100 items to do. And the best practice, and actually this is what I'm doing within my company, I need to put like which item I need to start. For example, I have 100 items. Which one is urgent? Which one is important? Which one is not urgent but important? Which one is important but not urgent? I know that you know this methodology, and actually this methodology will help you to apply your task and to finish as much as you can in a prudent way and in efficient way actually. So this is what do you mean by second step here. Third one, you need to think on how you can test your card. I'm not sure if you are familiar with the test card. It's already available. There is a sample available within the same link that I shared with you on the second session, I guess. So I can share the link later on with you. But within the test here or design test, here you need to design your experiments with the test card. There is already a template built in will help you to fill a few questions based on the experiment that you're gonna follow during your process. And all actually it's a structure all of your experiments within this simple test card. So what do you need to test? You need to start by testing the most critical items that you have it, critical things that you have it within your second step here. And you can apply, for example, if I have a 5 items here, I need to create 5 test card, because while you are building your test card, and believe me, it will help you to find a lot of risk, a lot of errors, a lot of challenge that you can avoid it from the beginning. So look at the test card that's available online. I'm going to share with you later on the link. You just need to download it. It's free. And you can print it out or you can use it as a digital version, and you can type your experiment and test it. Third one, after you have, for example, now I have from 100 items, I have 100 test cards. I need to pick, for example, the most important things to test. For example, I have 5 items under urgent and I need to finish it. So these 5 items, I need to start with it and start to test it by applying whatever I have on the test card, and then from testing my experience or item that I already choose it from design test, I need to move run the test. From here, I will apply the testing process. It means I will check, I will, for example, if I'm talking about an application. So let me give you an example, you will understand better. So I have a specific project which is automate the whole process from Excel manual input to be an application. So the first step for me, I need to understand my stakeholders or the customer, which is oil and gas people, and from there, based on their department, I will understand their profiles. Then I will understand what kind of solution that I will provide it to them, my customer. From there, I can build my business models, and I can check it and do some lookup about all the things that I have it. Second step, now I'm done with the first one. Second step, I need to build my list, which is what kind of items urgent, not urgent, important, not important, and so on. The same methodology that we follow for any project. From there, I need to start to build my test card. And while I'm building my test card and to check all the items, I need to pick the most important things for my project, and which is I need to finish it within maybe 1 week or 2 weeks. And from there, I already have 5 items out of maybe 100 or 10, I'm not sure. And from there, I can run the test. Within this, actually, I have like build the application user interface. Maybe I have second item like test the flow, or build a flow by using Power Automate. So I will have 2 items, for example, here. What I need to do, I need the test. It means I need to apply whatever I have from here. I will build the user interface. I will build the flow by using Power Automate. From there, I know that if I'm not expert, or maybe I'm expert on all these tools that I will use it during my project, I need to capture learnings. What do you mean by learning card here? It means what kind of things that I learned during this experiment. It means while I'm building the application or the user interface, I faced like there is an issue with Power Apps, or something is happening during my application, or there is an error within my Power Automate. So whatever a challenge, whatever I learned during this test journey, I need to add it to my learning card, and from there I can make a progress, and I can learn from my mistake to avoid it if I would like to implement the same process again and again. So that's what we mean by testing step by step, or the process. It's really a good process to follow, and I really suggest from you, if you have any project or anything, try to implement whatever we have here. It will help you actually even to improve your learning skills. So don't worry, all these available online on the online sources, so you can look at it and you can have it with the high resolution. So let me move to the experiment library. And as I mentioned, what we did on the test, we can make it, or we can call it experiment, right? Because you are learning new things. And it doesn't mean that if you are working on any project, it's something you need to be an expert. So maybe it's a new things for you. And this is the fun way to learn, or the easiest way to learn any new things, which is to try to take the challenge. And for every experiment, actually, we have strength and weaknesses. So some are quick and cheap, but the process should be the same, and the same process you need to follow again and again for all your products. And let me show you one things that they have it within the book. It's really cool things. And actually, if you look at it, it's like a picture, it's like a funnel with the 3 stages. And if you look at it, the same thing that we talk about, testing the circle, testing the square, testing the rectangle here. And we know that testing the circle, it means we are dealing with the customer. We are learning about their profile. Second one, we are focusing on value map about product. Third one, we are building our business models, and we are ready to start test our product and test whatever we have. So let us check the first one. Test the square. Here, actually, the first stage of the funnel is about testing if potential customers are actually interested in your idea and have the jobs and pains and gains you imagined they had. And actually here, before wasting your time building the products and maybe the application or service that customer don't care about, we what they mention within the book, actually they really suggest us to provide an evidence for what makes them like they want your product and what problems they face and which benefit would might get their attention. So here they divide it to be a different way of explaining how we can test. And what they mention here, you need to focus before wasting your time on building the whole product and publish it to all your customers. At the end, no one gonna use it. So that's what they mention here, and I found it's really helpful to follow this step. Second one, test the square. In the second stage of the funnel, actually, you need to try to learn which products, service, and features customers want and which ones they want most. And we already have it on the value map, if you remember, which is on the value proposition canvas. Actually, this will allow you to design the best value proposition for the largest possible market and will help you to avoid any risk that will happen in the future. And as I mentioned, there is a lot of tool available online will help you to build all this stuff. Third one, which is the third stage, and why do we need to do a test the rectangle here? And actually here, after testing the circle and the square, you need to try to figure out which customers are actually willing to pay for your value proposition, right? And which is here the most important step for you. You will do a lot of experiment here with the potential to the customers. They care about your value proposition, and you need to make sure that whatever you have within your business models will able to help the customers, and for sure they will pay you for your product. So this is what they mean, and why do we need to test our business models before publishing anything. Okay, now how we can bring it all together, and what do I need to do? I know that I have a process, I have three steps to follow, but how can I bring it together? Or what kind of steps do I need to follow to bring all these together? First step, actually, you need to start with the testing process. What do you mean by testing a process? We already discussed it within the graph, but there is something you need to ask yourself. I will explain it in a few seconds. Second one, you need to measure your progress. And third one, the progress board that we have it. So let me start with the first one, which is the testing process. Here, you need to use all the tools you learned about the describe what you want to test and how you will do. So, in order to make your idea really into a reality and into a physical product, if you have any actual product, what do you need to test here? You need to ask yourself three things. First, what to test. Second one, how to test. And third one, what's next? So, first one, what to test. We know we already talk about it within the value proposition and business model canvas. You map out how you believe your idea could become a really good idea to your customer, and actually this is will be the foundation, and this foundation will help you easily to make your ideas, your product to be as a true things within the market. And start by testing the most important one that you have it within your experiments. We already discussed it within the test card that we have it. So start with the most important things that you have it. Second one, how can I test it? So with the testing card, we already mentioned that we have a testing card. You can describe how exactly you would like to test, or how you would like to focus on the important ideas and what you will measure. And after one or more completed experiments, you use the learning card. And from learning card, we're gonna capture a lot of things that we have it, and whether you need to learn more or what kind of skills that you need to develop in order to test your other experiments that you have it, and to move on into second important items from your test card. Third one, what do we need to do next, or what's next actually? Here you need to keep your eyes on the price, and also make sure that you having some progressing. You need to track whatever you have. For example, I already test my product, then I need to check other other people around me, what they are doing, what they, if you are working within organization and you have, for example, two departments, they are they are doing the same thing, and you want to make sure that your product most valuable than their product, you need to check what they are doing, and you need to take an idea and to try to implement whatever you have in your own way. This is what they mention within the book. So, and the most important things here, you need to make sure that your solution will help the customer to remove their pains, to solve their problems, and to fit. The fit, it's between customer profiles and value map that we have it, if you remember this relationship between two sections. Now, if we move to the second one, which is measure your progress. Sorry, I forget to put the picture here. What do you need to do here? You need to test the process, and you need, while you are doing the testing, the process will help you actually uh, to reduce a lot of risk that we have it. I already mentioned it, and from there you can measure your progress. And this is the goal actually, to track any activities that you are doing during your journey. So, what I really suggest for you, for example, if I have 5 items and I'm doing some experiment on these 5 items, try to put a score, or try to put some points based on what you are doing. For example, the first one, I did the experiment and I can rate myself like 10 out of 20, whatever. So try to put a score to measure your progress, or to measure what kind of things that you are doing. And this is the best way actually to make sure that you are following the test card design they have it. And I think within the test card, I'm not sure, they have some score or something that you can add it to your items. I'm not sure actually, but I think so, they have it. Okay. Third one, which is the last part of our slides today, the progress board. Here you need to use the progress board to manage and monitor your test, and actually to see how much progress you are making, to make sure that your product will go live. And you need to ask yourself this question: what did I test already? And for this question, you need to use the value proposition and business model canvas to track which elements you have already tested and validated, or unvalidated. And this is the purpose of the whole process. Second question: what I am testing and what did I learn from the testing? Track the test you are planning, building, measuring, and you need to learn from whatever you already did from your experiments. Third question: how much progress did I make? And as I mentioned, keep a score of how much progress you are making. Try to give yourself a score. Actually, you can measure your work not only about the business models. I'm doing this practice for all my things. I have my own I have my own scoreboard, and for each items or whatever I'm doing, I can put a score for my items. For example, even for the community activities, I'm giving myself a score. For Schamberger activities, I'm giving myself a score. With this, actually, it will help me to check my strength, my weakness, to see where I need to develop myself more, where I need to put my energy more. So really, it's a good practice. So this is what we have within chapter 3, and there's a lot of things within the book. Actually, you can look at it with more details. I try to summarize it as much as I can, and I hope that you find it informative, and you learned the new things today. And in case if you want to review any sessions before, it's already available on my YouTube. And if you want to reach me out, just You can follow me on Twitter, LinkedIn, all my social account. I'm available there. So thank you so much. I really enjoyed like I'm sharing what I learned from the book. And we have the last session for value proposition, which is next week. And tomorrow I will have another session for Power Apps and Dataverse and how we can use Dataverse within Power Apps. So if you have any question, you can ask now or you can reach me out at any time. Thank you so much and have a nice day.